Hi, I'm Anthony Fernandez, founder of Tax Quotient. I'm back with the second video on GST. The title of this video is GST Optimization, an Introduction. This is a short video which will be the first of the three-part session on GST Optimization. Death and taxes are the only two inevitable certainties. This is what we are told. This was written by Benjamin Franklin way back in 1789. 230 years later, nothing has changed. It is still the same. Death and taxes are still certainties. Unfortunately, tax is not a subject which is as exciting as, let us say, astronomy or robotics. Most people hate tax. There are, of course, reasons for that. Have you come across any poem or a song on tax or taxation? It's not like love, peace, freedom. There are so many songs written on that, but on taxation you will not find as many. There are. But usually it is expression of emotions which range between hate and disgust. There is one particular song titled The Tax Bill by the Beatles. It aptly describes these sentiments, and it also describes how the tax and taxman loom large over every human activity. It goes like this: if you drive a car, I'll tax the street. If you try to sit, I'll tax your seat. If you get too cold, I'll tax the heat. If you take a walk, I'll tax your feet. Come to think of it, Beatles might have very aptly and accurately described GST. Some of the weirdest taxes were imposed back then by the rulers. But you know what? People didn't take it lying down. They have been equally smart and ingenious in trying to avoid or trying to sidestep the taxes that were imposed. This tussle between the taxman and the taxpayer has been going on for centuries. Each time a new tax would come, there would be ways and means of reducing or to optimize the tax. And that is exactly what happened in many of these instances. The first of the illustrations about this is way back in the 1st century, when a Roman emperor named Vespasian imposed a urine tax on urine collected in public toilets. Back then it was considered that urine had whitening properties, and therefore it was used in laundering and tanning. Yes, I said laundering. Well, over a period of time, those toilets came to be known as Vespasian's. This deeply embarrassed his son. The son goes up to the emperor Vespasian and complains about this very weird tax. Vespasian picks up a gold coin, shows it to his son, and says, "Pecunia non olet." That's in Latin. It actually means money doesn't stink. In England, King Henry VIII introduced a beer tax. This was subsequently withdrawn. But learning from this, the Tsar of Russia, King Peter, introduced a beer tax in 1698. This beer tax was a graduated tax depending upon the status of the person. The higher the status, the more the tax. And each person who paid this tax was issued a beer token, which was the proof that he had paid this tax. In 16th century Amsterdam, buildings and houses were constructed very narrow. Why? Because the property tax on houses were based upon the width of the houses. So the narrower the width, the lesser the tax. So the buildings were at that point in time therefore constructed very narrow, but with large windows. Buildings became so narrow that the furniture which had to be carried up into those houses could not be done through the stairways. So, as a result of this, every building was equipped with a hook and a winch at the top of the building to haul up the furniture. Even today, all of these winches and hooks are visible on the Amsterdam buildings. If ever you visit Amsterdam, you will find this on every building. A tour guide may actually point out to this very peculiar fact. In 17th century England, King William III introduced a property tax which was based on the number of windows in a house. The more the number of windows, the more the tax. So in order to escape this tax, many of the people started blocking out the windows with bricks, reducing consequently the tax. The aim was to show that no one wants to overpay the tax. If there is an alternative where the tax outflow is minimum within the framework of the law, then people will adopt that. They will even make changes to the way things are and the circumstances in order to minimize the tax. And this is exactly what is called as tax optimization. Some of you will wonder why we are talking about GST optimization at this point in time. Because for all practical purposes, people who are dealing with GST have their hands full and immersed in reconciliations, returns, annual returns, refund claims, GST audits, rectifying past errors, legacy appeals, and so on. Well, firstly, we must remember that it is over 2 years now since GST was implemented. The budget 2019 has come and gone without much impact on indirect taxation, except for customs, of course. That any aspect of business which is very important, which has high stakes and potential to create high risk, should be reviewed periodically. If this is not done, we can be sure that there will be disappointments. So in order to review tax risks and tax optimization, any time is good time. With this, I'll stop here because this is the end of the first part of the 3-part session. I'll be bringing back in a short while more about GST optimization.